Welcome to Mole Confidentials, episode 7 of season 6.
All right, so obviously you can see we have the lovely and talented George the Jedi here, one of our players. We have Mr. Kama, one of the brains behind the challenges, and we have a pig in the background. So we always have one animal in all of these episodes, it seems like, besides you guys. So we're going to get right with it. We have some questions, and one of them is, could players have taken screenshots on Challenge 14? They could have. No one really asked. If they would have asked, I would have been like, okay. Because I think, honestly, with the time they had available to them, taking a screenshot and then getting that screenshot up and analyzing it, they might have had trouble doing it quickly. And I never know if players are doing anything like that behind the scenes anyway. Maybe they do. Like if they see a sign from the mole, maybe they take a screenshot of it. I don't know. I mean, you ever take any screenshots, George?
Not really. I usually just wrote it down if I saw a sign or someone said there was a sign, but I never really wrote not wrote. I mean, I never really took a picture of anything throughout this season.
So it could have happened. Maybe during the reunion. That's a great question. Possibly, if you want to send in a question to ask if they did any screenshots on that challenge or other challenges. All right, Kama has the next question.
The next question is about Challenge 14 too, and some people are saying it was too hard. Well, yes, I kind of agree that it was hard, but we gave them enough time to look at it. We gave them enough time to build it. So, I mean, I didn't know they couldn't remember that much. So, yeah.
Well, and in the defense of the builders and everything, and we'll talk about that challenge when we get to it. The players had a decent lead. We needed to have some challenges that were a little bit aggressive, and also possibly the mole had some opportunity to do some stuff. So, I mean, it was an aggressive challenge, and I had one person messaged me saying that I always get a few people who like to say the negative comments, but they message them to me instead of posting them in YouTube, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. But it was a hard challenge, and I'll give you that. There are hard challenges each season. Sometimes it's not challenges we expect to be hard. All right, this question somebody asked. I think it's a two-parter, but they didn't really ask the second part. But this comes up every once in a while, so I thought I would address it. They asked. Everybody always asks, "Is there going to be another season? Can they sign up?" Yes, there will be another season. I usually like to take a couple months off of Mole before we start up the process of selecting people again. So it'll probably be maybe springish, let's say. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. We usually like to take our time, and this is a lot of work to set up, to do, to edit, to go through. So a little break is nice. I mean, this is not something we're going to just keep running season after season after season. Like as soon as one's over, we start another one. It would drive us crazy. Now, also, this person who had at that question mentioned that they only have an Xbox right now. They didn't ask this, but I do get asked this by people. A lot of times when we stream, they want to know, can we do Mole, can we do UHC, and different things on the Xbox? Or sometimes it's PS3, PS4, 360. Not really. I mean, you can do UHCs on an Xbox and a PS4, I believe. I don't know about the PS3 and 360. They do have, I think, the no regeneration option on the console, but it's only like 6 players or something like that. So it just doesn't work. Now, Mole, I mean, I guess you could do it. You wouldn't have a lot of the capabilities that we have by using plugins and different things, but I guess you could try to do it. But again, 6 people. I just don't know that many people that have a console, and I think the limit of 6 would be horrible. For UHCs more so, but even Mole to say 6 people, well, I mean, if it's me hosting, I'm one of those 6. So now we're down to 5 players. If I have any helpers, then we're down to 4, 3, or whatever. It doesn't work. I think Minecraft, with Microsoft pushing it now that they own it, I think you're going to see, they said this, that the clients for PC, the client, and that means Windows, Mac, Linux, the clients for mobile, the clients for the consoles are all going to become have feature parity at some point. When that becomes to fruition, we should be able to then have people play no matter what device they're on. Might have some issues with people combating with a console, thinking that they don't have the advantage with the people with keyboards and mouse, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But if they do become feature parity-wise across all the platforms, then anyone can play no matter what device they're on. I'd hate to see somebody trying to play on a mobile device.
Oh, God.
But I guess, hey, you got to play what you can play on. And if they do make the versions all the same feature-wise and they can work on the same servers, it could happen. All right, so here we are at Challenge 13. This was an interesting challenge. Kama, you can talk about the idea, you can talk about the builders and all that stuff.
All right, so the idea behind this was kind of a PvP defender match. The build was done by Retro completely on her own while I was doing the other challenge. The villager was also Retro's idea to give him a name, make it not move, and all that. Yeah, I mean, the players did okay, I guess. But yeah, it was more PvP than anything else.
I think on this one, we did have a behind-the-scenes issue that you don't see on the video because I cut it out. But I don't know what was going on when I don't know if it's that the helpers didn't test it or what, because when we actually started this challenge, the helpers couldn't spawn the zombies. So I'm not sure if they were just assuming the eggs would work or what. It's a plug-in permissions issue and stuff. We fixed it, but we actually started the challenge and we couldn't have any zombies attack because they wouldn't show up. This would have been one that if we would have had a lot more time and probably more planning, I would have maybe liked to make a custom plugin to kind of drive the zombies towards Bert here, more so than the players. We wouldn't have had as many mobs of zombies rushing in, but if you put 2 or 3 from each side and they kind of just ignored the players even when they attacked and still tried to go after Bert, that would have been interesting.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have a couple players die doing this, so it wasn't super easy. But I think once they got a feel for it, the players did pretty well. We'll have to talk about it more in the reunion. But it was a beautiful build. Now, somewhere there was a sign, and I don't think a single player found it. I hid it up in one of those corners. I'm just not sure which corner. Here it is. So the players couldn't fly, so they can't see it as easy. But down from the ground down there, if you look at the right angle, and I'll show you that angle. But here it was. Know who I am yet. Figure it out or die. Love the mole. So the players would have had to look around and do this. And you can see it. It's not like it was really hidden. And you can even read it. Depending on what device you're watching this video on, you may or may not be able to read it. But if you look at it in full screen on 1080p, it's gorgeous. So players missed it. So that was one of my best hiding places ever. And I'm the one. Go ahead.
Definitely the sneakiest sign I've seen so far, yeah.
And I hide them. Obviously, when the challenges are built, I come around right before we get ready to go live and hide signs. And sometimes I don't hide signs. But it's up to the players. But what was your thoughts on this challenge, George?
From a competing aspect, it was nice. I liked the idea. I think if you do the if they go after the Bert idea, I think you should have a few wild ones that will just go for the players, and then a lot of them will just aim straight for Bert. But I really enjoyed it. There's a reasoning why I chose Danny's hallway out of the rest of them, and that's because I was in season 4. So I figured that would be a cool idea just to represent some of my old roots. But I really love the challenge. The sign was really sneaky. I was looking forever for it, but I guess I just missed it because I went down all those halls. That was a great spot to hide it in, and good job. I've been waiting to figure out where that is, and I'm glad I get to finally know where.
All right, so here we are at the lovely and talented Challenge 14, Remember and Build. This was the kind of the arena thing that I built for last season, and some schematic things I pasted in, and then Kama kind of, I think you rebuilt, these are all your own houses, aren't they?
Yes.
So Kama built the houses, Kama built the items inside the houses. But he reused this. I just pasted this in from the old Mole World from last season. And I do keep all the season. So this is the challenge that people want to know, could they take a screenshot? So if you're unsure of what they meant by that, when the players had their chance to look at, like, say, this build, you could start firing off your screenshot hotkey and then bring those up and then look at it here, those screenshots, while you try to rebuild it in here. I mean, if you'd only got one monitor, that would be very difficult to do. Although I do know some people still play. I don't know if George does, but some people still play like Minecraft in the default window size that it pops up in, even if they have a large monitor.
I usually, when I play, I have the window, but I fit it so that way I can see all the names in Discord, and then the rest of the screen is taken over by the window. Because just I don't have the Discord overlay thing, and I kind of like overlays if I don't know people's voices. Even though I was getting used to it, I usually do that. Like, for example, in your UHCs, I leave a little corner of the screen so I can see the names of people on Discord.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I've known a few that still say they just use that default window size, and I think it's like a 480p resolution, maybe. It's a very low res. I mean, I used to record at that back in the ancient days. But we quickly started moving to 720, and then of course now I try to do everything in 1080p. 60. I know some people have asked me, when are you going to do 4K? It's like, well, I don't really think it matters that much. I don't know if anyone really does a lot of 4K like Minecraft videos. Maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, how many people actually have resolutions able of watching 4K? But hey, we'll see. So, Kama, any thoughts about this challenge, the building, any of that type of stuff?
Well, I wanted another building challenge in it, so I asked you for the schematics for the arena, so people would have thought, hey, I know that challenge from last time, but they were wrong. Buildings, I mean, I just built some random stuff, and I did it in a minute maybe per build, but I didn't need to remember, so it's obviously not as hard for me as it would be for the others.
George, when you played this, thoughts on it?
I do agree that it was hard, but I also know that it's near the end of the game. The challenges are supposed to get harder. Maybe it would have been nice if it was a little easier, because yeah, I'm competing and I want to win. But I get why it was harder, and if this does return, hopefully we will see either some different things about it or something very similar, because it was fun. I was surprised at how well I actually did. Like, I thought I was gonna get like the absolute worst score. So it was a lot of fun.
So here you have a sneak peek at a challenge in our next episode. What could it be?
Really angry skeleton.
So if you haven't seen the episode, I mean, honestly, you probably figured it out by now if you haven't. But if you're still watching this and you haven't seen the episode 7 of The Mole, you may want to stop now, because we're going to reveal who was eliminated. So stop now. Here's the room 108, Mr. George, the Jedi. Here he is. There's Kama. Here's his questions. He still kept it all. But over here we have the Mole's comment to him. You needed more midi-chlorians. Love, the Mole. That's a very low blow to poor George, because obviously George the Jedi, Star Wars fan. Midi-chlorian is probably one of the most hated things in the Star Wars universe.
I always jokingly say that it was just a theory by Qui-Gon Jinn, that it wasn't actually a proven thing or something like that. But hey, it works, the theme. I don't remember what the last time, if I I won't spoil season 4 if I had a sign or not, but you can cut that out, right?
Nope.
But yeah, it was a great sign. Well, really clever. My room, if I want to talk about that quick, every episode I tried to add something new. Like I think the last thing I added was these things above the window. But every episode I try to add something. So like the logs beside my bed, the chairs, the coal block, a chest or an oven, or something even as simple as a torch. I just try to make everything. I just try to add something every episode to make it kind of unique.
All right, so after episode 6, you guys had a week to vote until episode 7 aired. Your guys' voting on who you think is the mole, another new pick after episode 6 by a majority, you think George the Jedi is the mole.
Ooh.
Well, that's all
So, yeah, so that was a complete fail on your guys' part. At least in the past episodes, the people you've been picking are still in the game. This was your first week where you guys picked the person who was eliminated in the next episode. So you're going to have to rethink those theories. All right. Next up, the magic moment, the moment where you guys show off your skills. And we have an interesting one this week. If you want to sing the mole comment of the week, you got, I think, 1 or 2 more shots at it. So in the description of the video, there's a link. You can sing your version of the mole comment of the week. Please, if you do any music, make sure it's you, or royalty free. Do not use copyrighted music. Sing it, record it. You can put it on SoundCloud. You can put it on Dropbox. You can put it on File Dropper. You can put it on as a YouTube video. Make it unlisted so nobody else can see it. So it'll be a surprise to all. I don't care about video. I'm only going to use the audio on it. So, I mean, you could just, if you want to make it a video, just, make it a black screen or whatever. But send in your comments of the week. We'll have one more episode of Confidential, and I might use a mole comment of the week also in the reunion. So 2 more chances. If you haven't sent them in yet, or you haven't heard yours sent, maybe because it didn't come up to snuff. A few of you guys sent links in on the forum, but they weren't links that I could actually download. They were like links to files on your hard drive, and that won't work. But anyway, this comment of the week is sung by Claude Gaming. Take it away, Claude.
It's the mole, 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 mole. It's the mole comment of the week.
This week's comment is from Chubbaholic, and he writes, "Moly, moly, moly. Down to 3. Don't think you can fool me. One of you will be the mole, and someone will leave with the gold." I would have said diamond, but gold rhymes better.
All right, well, there you have it. So, we are going to be going into episode 8 this Friday. Our 3 players will compete in 2 challenges. They will take a quiz. You will see the quiz. That will end the episode. You'll have your chance to vote during that to who you think those final 3 are. And then the following week, we will go right to the finale. And then you'll also then have time to submit questions for the reunion. We'll record a reunion, and it might be a week after the finale airs. There may be an empty week where we'll then do the reunion, where we try to bring all the players back. Can't guarantee they'll all come back. Sometimes people get busy with the real world. But we'll try to get as many players back as possible, the helpers, and you guys can ask questions of players, the mole, the builders, or myself, and that'll be then officially when that airs, because sometimes that's a 2-part episode. That'll be the end of season 6, and then we'll have a break before we go back to season 7. So if you guys here want to say your goodbyes, we're going to close out season 6, episode 7 of Mole Confidential.
Bye.
Bye.